And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know the last time every car number 1 through 24 raced in a single season was 2000, where 1 through 28 race all started at least one race? However, the number 15 was a Fenley Moore entry that which didn't survive half the season, and the number 19 was Everham's late season entry for Casey Atwood. So to get them all in one race, you'd have to go back further. You probably didn't know that, as did we. But anyways, welcome to the Nas Boys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, with my good friends Christian, aka Savage NASCAR,
What's up?
um, three underscores Ryan underscore W three underscores,
Hey guys.
and Brandon, aka Spud.Shady.
Hello.
All right, so let's get down to tonight's episode. First off, we're recording this the night of Daytona qualifying. At the moment when we're recording this, William Byron has taken the pole, and Tyler Reddick is on the track at the moment. But let's get into the Clash recap. So, what is you guys' thoughts on the race last night? As once again, we are recording this the day after the Clash.
It was legitness, dude. It was pretty good in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, most people enjoyed it. Some people didn't, but I thought it was a good race. But much better than the July road course race. I mean, we saw wrecks. We saw, just people driving off the track, and we saw the exciting finish. I thought it was an overall success. Other than Kyle Busch winning, of course, but I thought it was good.
Yes, I definitely have to agree with that. It was definitely a very good race. Like you said, there was a lot of eventful things that you usually wouldn't see happen, such as drivers driving off the track. Kurt Busch and Ryan Blaney and Truex almost did that. Drivers making mistakes. Kevin Harvick spun out a couple of times, I think, on his own. Martin Truex just stopped. He tried to go the normal oval way instead of taking the chicane. Yeah, so many weird things happened in the race, and that finish was something else, man. We'll talk about that in just a minute, but I really did think that race was a success.
Yeah, I have to agree. It was a success. People were saying before that it was going to be boring and stuff like that, but it was really entertaining, like a regular season race. It was very eventful. Like you said, we had like Blaney locking up, Kurt Busch, we had Cole Custer catching fire, and some other drivers like William Byron's tire coming off, and some penalties for other drivers as well. But it was a success. It was fun to watch for a Clash, and I was kind of unsure about it being at the road course, but I'm glad that they did at the road course. And the ending was crazy. I didn't know who I was rooting for. I'm a Chase fan, kind of like Blaney, but didn't see Kyle Busch coming from there. But crazy race, crazy ending.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon, you gonna go? Okay, he's busy with stuff, I guess. I don't know why he's recording then. So
I'd like to add that as a Chase Elliott fan and a Ryan Blaney fan, I thought it was anything goes on the final lap. I don't think it was dirty what Chase did. He was trying to bump him. He maybe didn't mean to wreck him that hard, but it wasn't that hard of a wreck anyway. But it was good. It's not a points race, so I could understand why Blaney wasn't mad. But if it was a points race, Blaney could have been mad maybe, but they're friends, and I thought it was thrilling, a good way to start the season. Unfortunate that Chase and Ryan didn't win that race, but it's definitely what NASCAR needs, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. I think that the road course, the night road course was definitely better than the day road course, and I felt like the racing was much better. And I don't know about y'all, but the 48 and the 88 paint schemes, or the 48 the 88 and the 24 paint schemes looked much better at night than what we, saw during the day. Am I not wrong?
no, you're right. I agree with you.
Yeah, the 24 looked good. And I was listening to the radioactive for the race that they released a few hours ago.
Yeah.
And obviously the crews for both Chase and Blaney had different opinions. Blaney's spotter said that Chase was 2 feet away from the turtle and just purposely drove into him. But according to the replay, I did see Chase hit the turtle and like hit the edge.
Why they call it a turtle? That doesn't make any sense to me.
So it looks like a turtle shell.
Yeah, it kind of looks like an elongated turtle shell.
Yeah.
Turtle became a limo.
I just call it a chicane or a bump.
Little.
I call it a curb.
But my thoughts on the race last night was I enjoyed it. I actually didn't think it was going to be that good. But then they announced that it was going to be with the 2018 road course package. How it's the spoiler, so that, in my opinion, made it a lot better. So yeah. And then the last lap controversy, I enjoyed it because it's not a points paying race. I'm a fan of both drivers, so seeing them wreck into each other was not fun, but I enjoyed watching it.
Before I get into my thoughts about the last lap incident, I'm going to read you guys' thoughts. Like I said in the channel update, if you guys watched that, we were going to do thought bubbles and like polls of what you guys thought of the race.
Yep.
13 of you guys said the race was great. 6 of you said good. No one said meh or bad, which good job, NASCAR. First, here's some thoughts for the race. Rowdy fan _18 says, exceeded my expectations a lot. Never knew what was going to happen, and exciting finish, I guess. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Bubba Love, one of our biggest fans, says, strategy. Strategy, close racing, a few crashes, and an amazing finish. He gives the race a 9 out of 10. I definitely agree with that. Shazan Rana says, night race, first time in months, good battles, strategy, and that finish was amazing.
Do you know what I used to call his account name, how I used to pronounce it? Shazanaran.
Oh, okay, I call him John.
I wonder how that's pronounced. Let us know.
Yes, please do, in case we have to read one of your things again or give you a shout out for something. All right, now we're going to see what you guys have to say about the last lap incident, which we got a lot of Chase Elliott fans replying here. But, well, it's not that big a deal. It's whatever. Bubba Love, again, says, racing for a win. He had to make that move. They call me _Lucius says, just racing, man. I would have done the same thing. Shaz again says, dirty, but I mean, it wasn't a points race, so neither had to lose. Sucks for the 12. And then Diecast Racing Enterprises says, it was the last turn on the last lap. He wanted to win. And my thoughts on this, like a lot of stuff that happens similar to this where someone gets wrecked for the win, I automatically am saying like, oh, F you, Chase, and blah, blah, blah. I felt, listen, I'm a fan of both Chase and Blaney. They're not my favorites, but they're definitely up there. I felt so bad for Blaney. I was rooting for him because I'm a bigger Blaney fan than I am Chase. And after looking at replays, I could see where people were saying like he was just trying to get that win. He came into the chicane pretty hard, and then it looked like he was trying to avoid the curb and kind of like tap Blaney in the bumper. And I don't know if he meant to spin him or not, but you just hate to see a guy going around, and obviously that's frustrating no matter who the driver is. And Karma, if Chase really meant to spin him out, Karma probably got him with Kyle Busch passing at the end. That was a great move by KFB.
Kyle Busch came out of nowhere. Like, he was so far behind, and, he caught Logano, right? And then all of a sudden he's up there. I'm like, yo, Kyle Busch just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick.
I was
quick thing about.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you go.
I was focused on the 9 and the 12 battling it out. I didn't even know who was behind them, who was in second, and I just see the yellow 18 fly past at the end.
So he was exiting
be a-
turn 4 as they were crashing. That's how quickly he came up on them.
Well, I'm just gonna say a little bit of bias, but at the same time, it's a good stat. Joey Logano, early in the race, he hit the curb or the turtle, whatever you want to call it. Had a motor problem all race. His crew fixed it, and he managed to climb his way back up to third. So, applause for my boy there.
Yeah, good run.
Proud
from
to be a
him.
Logano fan.
You know,
Proud to be a Logano
this
fan.
race, I'm going to call it the hot potatoes of the leader because anyone who had the lead for too long ended up either crashing or overrunning turn 1.
Yeah, my pick, Denny Hamlin, he was there the whole race up front, and then he just like all of a sudden dropped back.
Truex as well. He just spun out on his own. I don't know if it was on his own or Ryan tapped him, but he came out of the corner, got loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out of the corner, got loose, and then just spun himself into the wall.
The curse of the DeWalt paint scheme. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I think he got just messed up.
Yeah, the DeWalt, the toxic man. And I give the race. I'm gonna rate the race. I'm gonna rate the race an 8 out of 10. Solid race.
I give it a 9.
I also give it a 9. It had all the factors that would make a race exciting.
9.
All right. Now let's get into some news. Natalie Decker will be racing, I believe, part-time with Remy Bros Racing in Xfinity. So what's your thoughts on that?
He's going up too early. I mean, I've mentioned this before with some other drivers. I just think she's not ready for the Xfinity Series. I mean, you saw what she did in truck. She didn't have a good season. She became a meme. And, I don't think she's going to do that well. I mean, I hope she does. I mean, I've met her before and everything, but I just don't think it's going to work out for her. I mean, we'll see. But as we've seen in the past, moving drivers up too fast isn't the way to go.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't know why well, actually, I do know why, because she has certain things. I'm not going to say it, but she does.
Wow. Oh, you really?
I'm sorry. I had to. Don't block me, Natalie Decker.
Canceled.
Anyways. But on the real though, they are moving her up way too fast. She's just going to be another Danica. At least it's with kind of a crappy team in some aspects. She won't do so well, but don't be surprised if she's just a back marker who just wrecks.
Yeah, there's been a lot of drivers who, in my opinion, were being moved up too fast this year, whether it's to the Xfinity Series or to the Cup Series, and I definitely feel like Natalie Decker is one of those drivers. Even though it is part-time, it's only 5 of the Xfinity races. I think it's too soon. I agree, it's going to be like another Danica. She's not the best driver. She wrecked a few times last year, so I think she would need more practice before. But as always, with drivers moving up, no matter who they are, I hope they do well. So we just have to see how it's going to play out.
Brandon. All right. Ryan Sieg is going to be changing manufacturers from, I believe, Chevy to Ford. So what's your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, he's a driver that a lot of people don't look at as a contender, but I mean, over the past couple of seasons, he's actually done pretty well in points. And a lot of people don't really notice that, but I honestly don't know how big of a difference that'll make. What's your thoughts about Ryan?
Yeah.
What was that?
Not sure why he echoed there.
Oh wow! Is that a vacuum?
No, he put like 2 phones in there, but I don't know. Ryan, go ahead with your thoughts.
Testing. Okay, so yeah, I'm not. It's not really to me a big deal. Like I don't really. Okay, I'm just restart my part. I was a fan of Ryan Sieg. I haven't been paying much attention to Xfinity until the past year, until last year, and I immediately became a fan of him. I think he's a good driver. As for switching to Ford, I don't really have an opinion on. He did good in Chevy. Hopefully, he does good in Ford. But yeah, I don't have the biggest opinion on it right now.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm with you on that. I watched Xfinity, like I started heavily watching it last season, but from what I have watched, because I used to watch N2SC 4R a lot, aka Joseph Lombard, and he sponsored Ryan's car, and I was interested in Ryan because obviously that's what they really wanted to get somebody notable like that. And he really has proven that he's an underrated driver, regardless of the equipment that he was in. Because I know that he's pretty much his own team. I don't know if he has any alliances. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but he drives the hell out of that car. And big shout out to him. And hopefully he does well and can win a race finally, because I know he's gotten screwed out of it so many times.
Yeah, definitely.
Said at the same time.
Yep.
Brandon, do you want to add your thoughts, or there we go.
I'll say a joke and then I'll do my actual explanation. Like, he couldn't afford to drive with Chevy, but who knows? That may actually be true. But I like the move to Ford because Ford doesn't have the numbers in the Xfinity series like they do in the Cup series. Hell, they don't even have the numbers in the Truck series anymore. So I like the move. They need the numbers. It helps their development program.
I agree.
All right. Next topic, Christian Eckes to Thor Sport. Once again, they switched to Toyota, and I believe he's on a part-time schedule with Grant Enfinger. But the ironic thing is of what happened last year. Excuse me. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it surprised me for sure. I didn't mean to interrupt you. My bad.
Oh, how the turns table.
I didn't even hear what you said. I'm sorry. I was eating something and it got caught in my throat.
I think one of us tried to speak on top, but I was going to see if Brandon wanted to speak first.
All I'm going to say is how the turns table, and also Bowman to the lead for qualifying.
Hey, that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, it surprised me for sure. I didn't see that coming. I mean, I like both of the drivers. Be interesting to see how well they work together. I'm sure they'll definitely put the past behind. I mean, we've seen in the past with drivers that used to not get along end up becoming teammates. We've seen that happen before. I mean, let me think of an example. If I'm correct, I mean, I forgot who I was thinking of, but yeah, I mean, you just go back and look. There's been other drivers in the past that, didn't get along, and then they end up becoming teammates.
Yeah, you can go.
All right, sorry about that, Ryan. Christian, I agree with what you're saying. There has definitely been a lot of instances with that, such as Clint Boyer and Michael Waltrip. But the funny thing is, it happened like less than one season. So I just find that funny. But good for Christian. I feel bad that he got kicked from KBM. Hopefully he does well.
I didn't work for KBM.
Yeah, he was the 18. Okay.
No, I didn't know.
I'm sorry. But yeah, hopefully he does well during his part-time starts, and we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, I hope he does well with them. From what I saw, he did good with KBM. Why was he kicked from it?
I think part of it was because of John Hunter Nemechek and Chandler, whatever his name is, Chandler Smith.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Okay. I hope he does good because I don't really know much about him, but from the races I have seen of him, it's made me a fan. And I agree that, yeah, drivers have been teammates with other drivers they haven't gotten along with, but this in less than a season, less like a few months even, I find kind of surprising, but it's good for him. He's got, even though part-time, he's got more races to prove himself next year. So I hope he does well in the new truck.
yeah, Mike. I was trying to say I was just joking about me driving for Kyle Busch since my name's Christian as well. Sorry for a little confusion there.
I didn't hear you properly. I just heard, oh, I didn't know KBM. I didn't hear the Christian part.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're good. So that's all of the news we have to cover because basically the season started. So now we're going to do Paint Scheme Review 2.0 like we did in our last episode.
Woohoo!
So this should be some fun stuff.
How much do we have
first off,
today?
we got
7.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I added a few more. So, anyways, now we have.
Oh,
To start off,
whose time is that?
that was mine. So to start off, Kurt Busch, Advent Health. I really, really like this car. The blue and the green just meshes so perfectly together. I love that shade of blue. I give that car easily a 10.
Question?
I was gonna let y'all go first. I was trying to pull up the picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like the scheme. I like everything. The blue, the curve, that kind of look like flames, but they're not flames. It fits well with the Monster Energy. Looking at the 77 Advent Health from last year, I know we're reviewing one today, but compared to last year's, this is a big step up in the scheme for Advent Health. It's really nice. I didn't see it until the day of the Clash, so yesterday. I didn't see it until then, but it's really cool. It looked great on track under the lights. I'm also going to give it a 10.
I think it looks pretty decent. I mean, the car looks really cool, as you said, at nighttime. It's not my favorite scheme, but it's cool to have a little different. It's cool to have a little flair, mixture of different colors. I don't know why, but it reminds me of this one TV show I've seen, one of the characters in it. This song called like Swamp Man or something like that. But anyways, I don't know why it reminded me of that. But yeah, I'll have to give this 8.5.
I'll give it a 10. I saw it on track last night. It looked really good and fairly fast. Until he overshot turn 1. Like I said, hot potato of the lead. But it's a definite upgrade from last year. I don't think the 42 has released theirs yet, have they?
It's the same thing as when Larson drove for Clover.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Crickets.
Yeah, I didn't know if Brandon had anything else to say, but okay.
It's all right.
Next up, Austin Dillon Bass Pro. It's okay. It's not my favorite. It doesn't really look too different aside from a couple of minor changes, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that one a 7.
I agree with you. There's not much change, but I've always liked the Bass Pro Shop cars. I always have. So, try not to be biased here, but I'm going to give this an 8.
Yeah, I've also always liked them. This one has very few changes, but I think they are good changes because we've seen some worse ones. But this car looks good. Not the best, but good. So I'm going to give it a 8 as well and agree with Christian.
I'm sorry, I spaced out. What car?
Austin Dillon Bass Pro.
Oh, in my opinion, not as good as last year. Last year had very Intimidator vibes, which kind of makes me believe that that's why they changed it, because of Mama Earnhardt's thoughts of having a black 3 on track. And so I would like to assume that they changed it because of their thoughts and respect for the Earnhardt family. So I'll give it an 8.
And just really quickly before we get into the next car, Alex Bowman has won the pole for the Daytona 500.
Yes, sir.
So congratulations to him. This is his second Daytona 500 pole, as Christian is waving a Jimmy Johnson shirt.
4th straight
48,
Daytona
48.
500 front row start. Most all time.
All right. Anyways, we're going to review a truck now. So it's Jordan Anderson's Swan car, or truck. Excuse me, I got to get used to that. This truck just looks like usual Jordan Anderson trucks. I really like the blue number. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a 6.5.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the other one that we've seen, just with different colors, different lines as well. But overall, Jordan Anderson's scheme, I'm a fan of Jordan Anderson, but scheme-wise, I'm gonna give it a 6. A 7.
Yeah, Jordan Anderson. Sorry, good.
No, a 7. That's all I was gonna say. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Jordan Anderson, he's one of my favorite truck drivers. I like his schemes. It's pretty decent. I have to agree with what y'all said. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Brandon?
I like the scheme. I'm looking at it right now. Like Mike said, I like the blue numbers. It kind of makes the car stick out a little bit, because if you look at his other schemes, they're either white or yellow. Well, on top, the 3 is yellow because of spotters, but it looks very sleek, and yeah, it does look like the rest of his other schemes. So I'll give it an 8.
All right. Next up, Kyle Larson, Hendrick cars. This car looks about the same as the Ricky Hendrick car and William Byron's car, but I really like it, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9.
Yeah, it is the same as William Byron's from last year, and the same as Ricky Hendrick, same colors, lines, but I think the number 5 looks better on it than the 24 did. So
True.
yeah, but it's pretty much the same scheme, so there isn't really much to say. So I'm gonna give it an 8 as well.
Yeah, I gotta say same, that it looks really cool, it's not the best, but I mean it's pretty decent. It's not, I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be. I definitely like the Hendrick throwback paint scheme there. For his, I'll give it a 7.5 or an 8.
Yeah.
Did they fire their designer or something? Because literally both of his paint schemes are the exact same, which knocks it. Like, I like the paint scheme, but them being the same scheme all across kind of knocks it down. So I'll give it a 6.75.
That's understandable for sure.
Yeah, I do have to say I do like this one more than his Nation's Guard scheme. They're the same, but the colors, I like the blue, white, and red more than the green and black.
Definitely, and Ryan, I agree with your point that it looks better on the 5 than the 24. So next up, Ryan Newman Koshler Generators, if that's how you pronounce it. This is a very nice car. Kohler, thank you. This is a very nice car, nice blue, black with white accents, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and give that one a 10.
Yeah, nice. I like the 6 on it. Not the 6, the blue. And the way it goes with the black. It just looks good, but it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite Ryan Newman scheme, and it looks a lot like an older scheme, which is cool, but I'm going to give it a 6.
I mean, I have to say the same. It's not much of a change, but I mean, it's decent. It definitely sticks out. I'll have to give it a 7 probably at most.
If you look at it and then look at the Wyndham Rewards car, it's basically the opposite of that, or very similar to each other. But like the base paint is the opposite color, and then the blue accents are the same. I'll give it an 8, though.
Oh wow!
I was the only one that gave it a 10. Damn.
So-
Next up, Chase Elliott Lumar. I like this car better than when Alex Bowman ran it. They definitely did a better job incorporating that sunset orange brownish color, whatever color that is. What really turns it off for me is that teal number. I don't know why all the orange cars have teal numbers on it, or most of the orange cars have teal numbers on it. So just for the teal number, I'm going to give it a 6.
Wow. I actually like the teal number. I think it looks really cool. I mean, it looks like one of those cars you see at Richmond, to be honest. I mean, if you go back and like watch old races, whenever they would have like the Sharpie 500 or the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 at Richmond, that's what type of car reminds me of those paint schemes. I get why people don't like the teal being on there, but I like it. I'll give it a 9.5.
I also like the teal. I literally just started liking the teal because of the reason why they choose the teal, from what it seems like. Lumar has a product called Air Blue, and it uses the teal for all of their advertisements for it. So it kind of just, it looks the exact same. So kind of looks like they tried basing it off of one of the products. So I'll give it a 9.
Yeah, the scheme is nice, but I agree with Mike. What's throwing it off for me is the blue number 9, the teal number 9. I feel like if it was maybe white or maybe a yellow, but not the teal, it would look nicer. But aside from the number, I like it. It's a nice scheme. I like how it fits the sunset, or yeah, sunset, as Mike said, fades from white to dark red. I'm gonna give this one an 8.
I'm gonna just say to Christian and Brandon, I would like the teal number because I really like teal, but I just don't know why it's with orange and that they just don't look that good together. I'm sorry, but just
Hey. It's not as bad as some other schemes that we have to cover today.
Yeah, I think I might know what you're talking about, but I don't know. Next up, Denny Hamlin offer pad. This unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people don't really like this car, but I like the actual scheme of it. But the teal number once again just ruins it. So I'm gonna go and give that one another 6.
This one, I mean, I don't like the teal on this one, not because of bias or whatever, but the car gives me kind of like Ricky Craven vibes, but without the blue. It's okay. I mean, also kind of looks a little bit like Carl Edwards' 19 Eris car from the front, but I mean, it's not bad. It's not good. I'll give it a 7 or 6.5.
Yeah, I don't know what offer pad is, but
Me either.
yeah, the scheme, it's okay. Not the best. It does not feel like a Hamlin scheme. It feels like if another driver were to take the car, or even an Xfinity scheme. But yeah, the tealish, darkish blue number 11 looks okay. I do agree. It looks like an Eris scheme, or yeah, Eris, and it fades to white. But hey, it's not my favorite. I feel like they could have done better with the colors, like the same colors, just not in the pattern it's in. So I'm gonna give it a 5.
It's like they
One
could
thing
have
real quick, Ryan, OfferPad is actually a website you could sell your home. It says right here, OfferPad is the new way to buy a home or sell your home, the easiest way. Start your free trial today. That's what it says. But yeah, that's pretty much what OfferPad is.
we are not sponsored by them at all.
Exactly. Yeah,
I was
don't.
gonna say that. But
Um,
I'd like to sponsor us for, yeah.
so it kind of looks like the opposite of Chase Elliott's scheme, just in a
Looks like
different
a
design.
Dollar General version of it.
Yeah, and the teal isn't even like a. The teal doesn't work as. I liked the teal with the 9 car. A little bit before, but like not as much as whenever I found out about the air blue. But there's no reason for the teal on the 11.
Yeah.
It just looks ugly and it doesn't fit in at all. So I'll agree with Mike. I'll give this a 6, even though orange is my favorite color.
I also don't know why there's like this random teal in the back bumper. Like the whole car is orange and white. Okay, that looks nice, but then there's this random teal. Like that's just this stupid.
I do have to say I like the
Uh,
teal on this 11 better than the shade on the 9.
Next up, also Denny Hamlin, but FedEx Where Now meets next. This car is interesting. It brings back a little bit of the color switching. It looks better than his primary that he races most of the time. They have like this arrow there and going around, and then the white side. So I'm going to go ahead and give this car a 6.5.
This one, I kind of agree with you. It's okay, but I'm not really a big fan of it. I'll give this one a 7 at most, and a 6 at least.
Yeah, I really like this scheme, actually. It's better than his standard primary, in my opinion. So I'm going to give it an 8. It looks more modern, more futuristic, even.
Future. I like it. I like the shade, the fade from purple to orange, and then just the arrow, and then orange to purple at the back. It definitely does look better than his FedEx car from this year. So yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Next up, I think, is Casgrella's Hyper Ice Car, I think it is. Yeah, I think that's the name of the sponsor. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the car looks like a basic colleague car. I don't really like it that much. I'm going to go ahead and give that one a 3.
How do you spell his name again?
K-A-Z-G-R-A-L-A.
Grala. All right, gotcha. That's Grala. Is it? What does it look like again? What color? I'm sorry.
It's white and black.
White and black.
Basically,
It's not
Hendrick was
popping up.
on a cup car.
Someone else can review while I try to find it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just said, it's pretty much Allmendinger's scheme on a cup car, just a different sponsor. Yeah, I like the colleague font, but the scheme's pretty average, pretty uncreative, in my opinion. So I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a 6.
I'll give it an 8. I like it. I like colleague schemes a lot. Sure, they're not always the like most creative because they all use the same formula. But it looks good on a cup car, and I like it. So 8.
I definitely have to agree with what Brandon said. I mean, it looks sort of similar to other college cars. It's not too special. I mean, I don't really like, to be honest with you. I'm going to give this thing a 4.
All right, now we will move on to Jamie McMurray's Advent Health. This car looks the same as Kurt Busch's, except it's white, and I'm not feeling the white as much as the blue. So I'm going to go ahead and give the white version a 7.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was the same as Kurt Busch with a different color. Just the white made it look completely different, and I think Kurt Busch's looks way better. The white's not my favorite. They should have gone with another blue, in my opinion. I'm going to give this another 6.
I definitely give y'all's points. I mean, especially with how much white there is on the car, they could definitely reduce that a little bit. But I don't see anything wrong much with this car other than that. I think it's okay. I'll give it a 7.5. Brandon?
I like it. Just too much white, too bright.
Yeah.
You rating?
7.
Okay. Now, final scheme. Ty Dillon, Bass Pro Shops. I really like this car better than Austin's. Definitely brings out the brand Bass Pro Shops. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 9.
Yeah, this one I really like. I like Austin's, but this, for Bass Pro Shops, I like it. It's nice. Black Rifle Coffee as well on the back. So I like it. I like the orange for the Bass Pro Shops and the gray-black camo for Black Rifle. I'm giving this one a 9 because it's probably one of, if not my favorite, tied for favorites that we've reviewed so far tonight.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now, but I definitely, if I remember correctly, didn't he drive this last night?
No, he drove the 23 because of...
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see it now, yeah. It's okay. It's not the best. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I pretty much agree with y'all's rating on this. And I'll give it a 6.
And Brandon had to go walk his dog, so hopefully he can be back in time for the next segment, which is
preoccupied with something.
Yeah. This next segment is going to be something that we're going to try to do, but I don't know how well we're going to execute this. Top 10s. This top 10 is top 10 NASCAR fights. So what we're going to do is all of us are going to alternate. I might have to do a couple in a row because Brandon is currently gone right now. So I'm going to start off right now with number 10, Noah Gregson versus Harrison Burton, and hopefully I'll edit a clip in. So here's the clip.
And look, this is moments ago, Noah Gregson talking with Harrison Burton.
Doing a little more than pushing.
Now, crew members do arrive. Harrison not backing down here. And now, now they're really going at it.
Yeah, they are. Those boys are going at it.
Michael and Nat came over. Here's another angle.
Hey, man, you hit me. No, man, you hit me.
Passion.
No, man. No, what was all that? I don't know, man.
Friday Night Lights. Whoa!
Now, I thought in this era of social distancing and masks and all that, maybe we wouldn't have this kind of post-race activity, but you can see, even though it's dark and it's off in the distance, this thing lingered for a little bit.
Just a little conversation back there in the lights, huh?
That is the passion.
That's passion. That's exactly what it is.
But, I mean, that's going to come with some consequences. I would know, you know. I would know, yeah. Still going after it. Oh, that's the junior motorsports situation now.
Just intense. These guys have been here all weekend long, back-to-back nights. Frustration on Noah's part.
Wow.
That was good, hard side-by-side racing. Unfortunately, they didn't hit. But hey, let's go to break real quick. Figure it out.
So it's fitting. We had a brawl at the end of a doubleheader. Harrison Burton getting together with Noah Gregson. That's what happened on track. This is what happened in the garage after.
Put the old hand on him.
Not
Gloves are
once,
off.
but twice.
Let's go to Jamie.
And I've caught up with Harrison Burton. And Harrison, you're looking at it there. But take us through what happened exactly. You obviously didn't back down when you saw Noah.
No, just frustrated. That's 2 times since we've come back after the COVID-19 pandemic on restart. Same situation. We rallied all night to get our Dex Imaging Supra into 4th place. And then the 9 happens to start in 3rd and just, I don't know, it forgets what racetrack we're at or what. But both times puts us in the fence, Charlotte and now here. So I had a lot of people coming up to me afterwards saying that was a long time coming, so I guess that was a popular move. But honestly, it's about these guys that work so hard on this race car and give me fast race cars and give us a race car that's capable of winning both nights, I think. Just mistakes made by me, and we kind of tuned it out this race that took us out of contention. And then once we finally got to where I thought we could have been, to get taken out like that was frustrating. So, I was just frustrated and, just sorry for our race team that happened.
We just saw the replay.
All right, anyways, this fight started because of an on-track incident with 13 to go at Kentucky last season in the Xfinity Series. This was a very, very interesting fight. Harrison came up, I guess, to talk to him. Some pushing happened. Gregson didn't like it, defended himself with a nice punch. I'm assuming he gave him a headlock, and then they got separated. So definitely an interesting fight.
I remember a lot of memes were made about that fight, a lot. And, it looked like it was a full-on tackle, you know what I'm saying? And they're throwing hands for sure. I mean, definitely breaking COVID protocols.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Brandon was supposed to do this one, but I guess I'll do it. Number 9, Michael Waltrip versus Lake Speed.
Gibbs just pulled it off. Whoops.
Oh, Michael Waltrip is a little upset here at Lake Speed.
Michael Waltrip went over and had words and maybe more with car number 9 at the finish of that one.
Well, I could see it. I was laughing, and y'all knew y'all wouldn't listen to what I was saying, or I didn't say anything. But what happened, him and the 9 car and the 30 car was racing, and the 9 car took him clean to the wall out there, and then a couple cars got by. They even got by the 9 car.
Well, you can see Michael was very upset. He comes up, pulls his car in front of Lake Speed, gets out of the car, walks back there to him.
It's got to be slow motion.
It takes the
helping him take
now.
the screen down.
Bam.
And lets him know that he was not too pleased about being run up into the wall.
Hit him again. Or at least
Looks
the
like
fist
he's
went
willing to
inside
take the
winner.
fine. He
swung anyway, right?
I'm not sure how this fight started, but this fight is pretty well known because one of them came up. I think it was Lake. He might have come up and punched Mike. Or no, was it Lake who got punched or Michael?
Okay, what happened was
thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, Lake actually pitted and lost position. And while trying to gain position back, he claims that Michael Waltrip was blocking him. So he got tired of that and put Michael Waltrip in the wall, which he didn't like. So after the race, Waltrip pulled up in front of him, and Waltrip was the one who walked up and started punching Speed through the window net.
Yeah, that's one of those old classic ones, that people don't remember and, should. I remember watching a video about it, about Michael Waltrip saying, he said Michael Waltrip was like, oh, I shouldn't have done it. My anger got the best of me. And Michael Waltrip isn't usually that type of guy that gets angry, but, that was back in his early career. And, he lost his cool, and he was like way taller than Speed too. I don't know if you'll know, but he had to literally bend over like this to go down and try to punch him.
Yeah, that was definitely a great fight. Shout out to Ryan for helping me out because I hadn't watched that fight in a while. But yeah, that was definitely a really interesting fight. It was similar to what happened with Clint Boyer and Ryan Newman in the All-Star race in 2019, I believe.
Yeah.
So definitely an interesting fight. And speaking of that, it is now Ryan's turn.
Yeah, here's the clip.
That car. They just took a heck of a beating.
Boyer and Newman going at it.
Well, we'll show you why.
Wow.
And what happened after the checkered flag between these two.
This is fun.
This is the All-Star race.
I love it. All right.
Wow.
And unlike other All-Star games, these fellas have to race each other every week of the season. Well, let's go back and see why the drama between Ryan Newman and Clint Boyer. This is on the cool-down lap after the checkered flag.
Wow.
Well, obviously something took place before all this.
Bam.
But Boyer not
Look at
happy
Boyer
at all.
Look like a machine. Which way did he go? Where is he?
With Ryan Newman, he's just changed clothes and heading to the NASCAR hauler. But explain what happened on track and then when you got on pit road, Ryan.
Well, 14 shot me on the front straightaway earlier in the race. I just about turned him around. If I went into brakes, I would have turned him around. And then after the race, I just went up and tapped him in the back, let him know I didn't appreciate the way he raced me. And then he body slammed me. Then I hit him back a little bit on the back straightaway, and then he just cut across my nose in turn 3. So doesn't take much of a man to try to fight somebody with a helmet on. I think he should be embarrassed of himself, but we'll enjoy a nice cold Coke and try to figure out what we can learn from today. We didn't do very well with our 8 corners forward.
Thanks, Ryan. Matt?
And that was the version from Ryan Newman. So what's your take, Clint, of what happened on this prize fight here on pit road?
It was a damn sure surprise fight. I don't know what the hell his beef was. I thought he was a lap down. You know, our day was over. We lost track position.
But yeah, here at number 8, Clint Boyer versus Ryan Newman in the 2019 All-Star race. Basically what happened was Boyer claims he thought Newman was a lap down and tried to quickly get down in front of him. But in Ryan Newman's view, Clint chop blocked him. So as a result of this, at the end of the race, on the cool-down lap, Newman bumped Boyer. And apparently, I haven't seen footage of this, but he says that Boyer then put Newman in the wall, which is what caused Newman to come back and ultimately spin Boyer around on track, which Boyer was clueless about. In the interview, he said, he just hit me. So, yeah, he pulled up next to Newman, came out of his car, walked up and started going mental through the window net, just punch after punch.
My man looked like a Rock'em Sock'em robot.
Yeah, he was just going to town on him. So, yeah, Newman waited until he cooled down and walked out of the car. And Newman actually didn't throw any punches. He just stood back because there was an official separating them. And he was talking about what was going on, what he did wrong. And they both ended up going to the NASCAR hauler afterwards. But I saw the fight as more funny than anything, just the way Boyer was going crazy and then started making jokes about it in the interviews.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you on that. It was pretty funny. I mean, speaking of funny, the John West Townley and Spencer Gallagher truck race fight at Gateway, that looked like a staged fight. But I mean, yeah, Boyer was just flinging like this. I bet if Newman and him were in the same ring, Newman might win. Just saying, he has big shoulders and biceps compared to Boyer.
Boyer had machine gun hands.
Yeah, so now let's move on to number 7. So at number 7 is the fight between John Hunter Nemechek and Cole Custer. Now,
John Hunter Nemechek wants the flag, and they're not going to give it to him yet. Oh, now we got it. Cole Custer and Nemechek Cole Custer did not like the way that race ended. Did not like the way John Hunter Nemechek moved him.
You know, Phil, you talked about racing people the way you want to be raced. As John Hunter Nemechek heads into the chase for the championship this fall, you've got a guy like Cole Custer that feels like he'd been done wrong. That could injure Chase a little bit prematurely.
Yeah, he may make it a mission to make sure that 8 truck doesn't go very far in the chase.
This one I actually saw live, and it was at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And, you know, this was one that a lot of people, you know, talked about because a lot of people thought it was a dirty move. So basically, Cole Custer and Nemechek led the most laps in that race, and they were battling for the win in the final laps. Custer led 39 laps, Nemechek led 19. So basically, in the end, Nemechek got a run on the inside in the final corner, and there was a couple other cars crashing behind them. But Nemechek, instead of, you know, trying to nose him out, he shoved Custer into the wall, basically pinning him up against the wall, so he couldn't get by, and he edged him out. And, you know, a lot of people didn't like that. Even a lot of Cup drivers didn't like that. I mean, it was dirty to me when I watched. I thought it was dirty, and then, you know, after that, you know, Nemechek was one to go to the to basically get the checkered flag, you know. And all of a sudden, here comes Custer, you know, Dorato running right to Nemechek, you know, nowhere, like WWE RKO right there, you know, and he just came and just tackled him. And Nemechek was acting like a little scared kid and didn't even fight back. But Custer was mad. You could tell that boy was angry. You know, he just went all out after him and tackled him. But yeah, that was definitely a classic truck race fight. And, you know, you could see it on the screen. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was for sure a great fight. In at number 6, Daniel Suarez versus Michael Mcdowell. This started because of an on-track incident during qualifying at Phoenix in 2019. Now, here's the clip.
And after round 1 of qualifying, Suarez went looking for Mcdowell to have a conversation, and Michael Mcdowell went after him. Punches were thrown. Crew chief attempting to break it up. Eventually they did, and they had a conversation. What was said, Jamie?
Well, I'm joined by Michael McDowell right now. You saw him, he had his helmet on, and it's almost like you knew that was coming. What happened on the track that led to that altercation?
No, I always have my helmet when I get in and out. It's just an old habit. Just miscommunication on the racetrack. We all kind of waited till the end, and then you just had a lot of traffic. So just unfortunate. You know, he was upset. I held him up on his good lap, and then he tried to crash us, and I just didn't appreciate it.
Will you guys talk about this before the race Sunday?
Yeah, for sure. Just heat of the moment stuff. It's racing, you know. It's these shorter practice sessions, shorter qualifying, getting late, going through tech, intensity ramps up. So it's all part of it.
Thank you. Let's go over to Vince.
And with Daniel Suarez, what's your take on what happened there?
It's just lack of respect. You know, track position is very big in these races these days, and you have to qualify well to have a good stall on pit road and obviously to have a good start in the race. The race is long, so you can always overcome that, but it's just a lack of respect. Everyone here in the garage knows that second lap is a good one. You have to try to get out of the way if somebody's coming in the hard lap. And he just didn't. He killed me in one corner. I thought he was going to get out of the way in the second corner, and he didn't. And I almost wrecked him, and then he was disappointed because I was trying to wreck him afterwards, but that's part of racing.
Thanks, Daniel. Guys.
Heated words and punches thrown. Now, this was the aftermath when finally they calmed down and talked it over.
And, Mike, you saw this building. I mean, the time's running out. They have less time this year than they've ever had before in these rounds. And there were so many cars at the end of pit road. It's just a matter of time.
Hey NASCAR fans, thanks for checking out the NBC Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe below for the latest NASCAR news, race highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.
And Mcdowell caused the fight, in my opinion, because Suarez came up. He looked mad, but he was trying to be somewhat peaceful about it. And then Mcdowell just comes up, gives him a little sissy shove, and then goes into this weak fighting stance. And trust me, I do Taekwondo. I know what a good fighting stance is. That was not a good fighting stance. He looked very stupid. Suarez just laid him out, and he had every right to do so for a great fight. So definitely a great fight.
That one surprised me a lot because, McDowell is way taller, and a lot of people don't know, but Mike McDowell is a Christian. He's also someone who doesn't really get into that type of stuff, but that was a surprising one. I remember, I don't know, I don't remember what year was it again? 2018? No, 2019.
2018 or 2019. It was when
Suarez
was in the 41.
It was 2019.
Yeah, I think it was I remember seeing it it was around the time I first got a smartphone. I remember seeing on my phone after I got off work. I was like, yo, they're fighting, they're in practice, they're qualifying. I was just so surprised. But yeah, I mean, Suarez kicked his butt.
All right, number 5, and this is now Brandon's turn.
At number 5, the battle of the Jets. Jeff Gordon versus Jeff Burton.
I got it. Walking up toward the ambulance right now, looks like, Rob. Yeah, he's out, but I can tell you, he's got that walk that says, I am not happy, and I'm going to tell somebody about it. In fact, he's walking toward the ambulance, he's sitting right behind.
While all eyes were on Martin Truex Jr. from hitting the wall at the other side of the track, Jeff Burton slid down the track onto Gordon's bumper and pushed him into the wall. It is not clear if Burton did this intentionally or if there was a problem with his car. Both cars were destroyed and parked on the track. I was not a fan of NASCAR at this time, but finding out what happened afterward and watching the fight over and over again, the fight was crazy. Gordon walking straight up to Burton and just punched him and got him onto the safer barrier. And neither one, as you guys probably know, aren't usually ones to fight. And then here's the funny thing about it. They were stuck into the same ambulance afterward. And there we go for that one. What's your guys' thoughts?
That was a very interesting fight. One of the first ones that I've seen with actual punches thrown and connecting. So good fight, and crazy that they did it just right on the backstretch or the front stretch.
Yeah, I agree with that. For number 4, we have Tony Stewart versus Joey Logano at Auto Club back in 2013. Here's the video.
And boy, Tony Stewart is after Logano.
Well, I did see some punches thrown today. You can't say they're just pushing each other. Not sure what went on between Stewart and Logano.
Now, Stewart could have been reacting to the restart, where Logano came way down the track to block Tony, who had a run on the inside.
Tony, what angered you at the end of the race? What did you take issue with?
What the hell do you think I was mad about? Dumb little runs us clear down to the infield. He wants to about everybody else, and he's the one that drives like a little I'm going to bust his ass.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Joey, here's the restart. Just spoke to Tony Stewart. He was really angry. Tell us what happened on the restart.
Yeah, I mean, I had to throw the block there. That was a race for the lead. And I felt like if the 14 got underneath me, that was going to be the end of my opportunity to win the race. So I was just trying to protect the spot I had. And I was actually pedaling because I couldn't keep the 18 to the line. I was actually faster than the 18 getting the tires hooked up. And then, you know, I'm trying to stagger myself, make sure I don't beat into the line, and then I had to block the 14th run because I was pedaling it. So I'll talk to him, and we'll see what happens. But, you know, I don't know where I think he finished decent, so we'll talk about it some more.
What happened was on a restart near the end of the race, I'm not sure if it was the last restart or not, but that during the restart, Logano was in first, Stewart was in third, right behind him, and Stewart dived down to pass Logano, and Logano dived with him to block him, and ended up running Stewart all the way down into the infield, which he did not like, as you can imagine. So as soon as the race ended, he pulled up right next to Logano, hopped out of his car, started punching him, and Logano, not taking any of that, punched right back, and there was a good fist fight for a few seconds before the officials actually get to them to separate them. And it was a crazy fight. It was crew members, I'm pretty sure, some were punching, and it was just funny to watch, crazy to watch. Logano, in the interview, says that he was just trying to protect his win, which I get, but Stewart just saw nothing but dirty driving. And, yeah, what do you guys think? If I was in Stewart's position, I would be mad, but if I was Logano, I would also try to block, so...
I mean, Logano was kind of out of order in that race, but I mean, I feel like there's an overreaction. You know, I remember watching this live. I mean, Tony Stewart, I mean, it's the final restart. You're going to expect to get blocked. You know what I'm saying? Logano didn't wreck him. I mean, he kind of did push him up. Kind of reminds y'all, if y'all remember the Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson one at Chicago when Johnson blocked Kevin Harvick all the way down to the apron, and Harvick ended up wrecking. But, I mean, Stewart didn't wreck. I mean, yeah, he did lose spots, but it wasn't just because of that. And, you know, it wasn't – I feel like this fight's a little overrated if I'm going to give my honest opinion, because they didn't really hit each other because Logano's crew was between both of them, and Logano threw a water bottle. And, you know, Stewart had the post-race interview rant. But, yeah, that's basically my opinion on that.
It's the post-race interview for me calling him a spoiled little rich kid. And also the fact that Joey threw a water bottle at him. But anyways, I remember I was like 9 or 10. And like I said, I've been a Logano fan since 2012. So seeing him fight like that definitely made me sad. But I thought that now looking back at it, I thought it was very stupid that Tony was getting upset over blocking. Logano was trying to go for the win. At that time, it would have been his first win with Team Penske. So I don't blame Joey for blocking Tony there. Tony shouldn't have gotten mad like that. And just overreaction from Stewart. Next fight, number 3, Chris.
Yeah, I didn't think it was number 3 already, but yeah, number 3, we got Matt Kenseth versus Brad Keselowski.
Denny Hamlin finished 9th, Brad Keselowski 16th, and on the cooldown lap. There was that. Then Keselowski and Kenseth, with Keselowski running into Tony Stewart. The sparks have flown.
Yes, they have.
And the fenders have bent even after the checker flag.
We'll have to see what all brought all of that on. Happy drivers for sure.
You hit me under yellow. You hit me under yellow. You hit me under yellow. Turn it loose. Turn it loose. Turn it loose. Turn it loose. Let it go. Let it go.
And, you know, other drivers involved in this one as well. This was a big one. And, you know, this was back in 2014, Charlotte. And a lot of people may or may not know this, but this was actually the last race that NASCAR ever had on ABC. I remember watching this one as well. It was late night. I was actually at a sleepover at a friend's house. I remember watching this, and he wasn't a NASCAR fan, but he was really intrigued by this race. It got him involved in, you know, watch NASCAR. But yeah, I mean, the race was pretty good leading up to it. And basically what happened was in the final restart, Keselowski and Hamlin were battling around, I want to say about the 8th position, if I'm correct. And they hit each other multiple times in turn one. And then basically, as you can see right here, they lost a lot of spots. And somewhere around this time, Kenseth apparently hit Keselowski, and Keselowski was mad at Kenseth as well. So basically, Keselowski was on the verge of missing the next round. This is the first year of the playoffs. So basically, Keselowski was mad. He dropped to like 16th. Hamlin went to like 11th. So after the race, Keselowski tried to wreck Hamlin. He missed. And then they go down pit road, and Keselowski just starts driving into people like, I don't know, like a car that lost its brakes or something. I mean, he hit Kenseth in the door, and then he hit the back of Stewart, and Stewart said, "I backed up with this," puts the thing in reverse and goes, yoink. You know what I'm saying? Backs right into Keselowski and ruins his car, and then Keselowski hits Danica Patrick's car. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. And then, you know, Stewart, I still find it odd that Stewart actually got penalized for that. If y'all don't know, he got fined and penalized for that. And Keselowski and Hamlin ended up getting penalized for their parts as well, if I'm correct. Same thing as Kenseth. So, you know, Kenseth was upset about getting hit without, you know, having a seatbelt on and all this stuff. You know, when they do the cool down lap, they pull down the driver's net, the window net. They start taking off the hoses, the radio, the helmets. So in the garage area, according to Hamlin, Keselowski started to like do burnouts in the garage and basically ruined his transmission. So there was just smoke and stuff. And then Hamlin tried to go after Keselowski and got held back. Now, the interesting part about this fight, there's two haulers beside each other, and it turns out that Keselowski and Kenseth's haulers were right beside each other, beside Hamlin's and Logano's. So basically, Keselowski was going to his hauler. He goes in between Kenseth and his. Kenseth comes running out of nowhere. I remember watching this live. I could just hear the yelling, and I'm in my head, I'm like, oh boy, we're about to see something big. Then, yep, here comes Kenseth out of nowhere, just jumps on him, and they just start swinging. And then all the crews just started rushing each other and find each other between the haulers. And it was insane. And I mean, the original broadcast, they didn't block any cuss words. You could hear cussing and yelling, and it was insane. I mean, it's definitely one of the biggest fights in history. I mean, and, you know, that's also the same year as the Gordon and Keselowski fight. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Keselowski that year, that's for sure.
Yeah, Keselowski definitely drove like an idiot in that race. I remember that.
And it was like he was drunk or something.
Yeah, he was drunk off Miller probably.
He had a huge glass of Miller.
Yeah, he probably was like, "Hey, I'm gonna get in the car and drink this old big glass of Miller." But anyways, he was very stupid that race. I remember I woke up and YouTubed it because I was too young basically to just stay up and watch the race. But yeah, it was very stupid how he was driving and just hits Hamlin. And I don't know what Hamlin did to him, and I don't know what Kenseth did to him, but Kenseth definitely made it entertaining by headlocking Keselowski. And that was one of the races that really made me dislike Keselowski a lot. Speaking of Keselowski, at number 2, Jeff Gordon versus Brad Keselowski. Here's the clip.
Jeff Gordon probably not very happy with the 2-car there, maybe. They have a talk with him.
I believe he wants to have a conversation and have it right now. Watch Brad Keselowski there, and from the left side of...
All right. This started because Brad used an opening to go 3 wide and hit Jeff in his left front tire, which caused him to get a rub. This fight was one of the craziest I've seen, and it all got started because Kevin Harvick, I don't know how it triggered it, but Kevin Harvick just like shoved him like kind of lightly, and it just all of a sudden Jeff just goes at him, all hell breaks loose. And yeah, definitely a crazy fight.
Honestly, I think Kevin pushed him right into the grasp of Jeff, because like as we all know, Jeff isn't the tallest driver. And with him pushing, like with Kevin pushing Keselowski, it just allowed Jeff to just grab a hold of whatever he could of his fire suit or PJs. And it just allowed the fight to ensue.
Might I add that at least three pit crews were involved. Menard's,
yep,
Keselowski, and Gordon's. They were all involved, and just that was chaos.
I think
Jeff and Brad looked very bloody at the end.
Gordon got a few good blows in.
Well, the thing is, Gordon, he grabbed him, but if you watch it, he didn't quite punch Keselowski. Keselowski was getting beat up by Gordon's crew, and Gordon got hit a couple times by Keselowski's crew, And one thing too people don't realize, this race, if I'm correct, is broadcast by ESPN. They had cameras in the middle of all that, so they had really close-up shots. And one of the reporters, Chris Devoda, I think, was the woman reporter who was in the middle of that. She was being protected by, I think, one of Menard's crew and one of Keselowski's team, one of Keselowski's team members, because she was in the middle of all that too. So I mean, everyone was just trying to adjust. It's like a wave. Everyone was just trying to adjust and move out of the way. That were not trying to get in it, and it's crazy, man.
I think
female reporter was Jamie Little.
Little, yes. That's who it is. It was either her or Chris Devoda, one of them two.
I think Bob Pockris was also in there too.
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually one of the first fights that I watched the whole thing of in NASCAR.
I remember being really upset about this because, like Mike said, this is one of the things that made me not like Keselowski. It's Gordon. Gordon's about to retire, and Keselowski just shows his way at the middle and cuts his tire. And Keselowski just been so overzealous for his second title that he just didn't care at what cost it would take. And as Jeff Gordon said in the post-race interview, I'm glad Jimmy Johnson won that race.
Yeah, because that just means Jeff won in one way, just not in the way he wanted to.
And just really quickly, we forgot to put this one in the list, but Clint Boyer versus Jeff Gordon. Speaking of that, Jeff wrecked him at Phoenix after apparently Clint cut his tire, and Clint was rightfully upset. Jeff was getting out of the car after he was going to the garage and just basically got jumped by Clint Boyer's pit crew. And Clint went onto pit road and ran right for Jeff in his hauler. So that was the first ever fight I watched live on NASCAR. So that was definitely crazy.
Yeah, that was a big one. And that one I feel like should definitely replace the Auto Club one between Stewart and Logano. I mean, I remember watching this live and Boyer was running through the garage like a chicken with its head cut off, and he's trying to get to Jeff, and his crew was beating up Jeff, and that was a huge brawl. I remember seeing that live. I was just shocked. I was like 11 years old. I was just like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, definitely sorry we didn't put that in. I was busy. Everybody else was kind of busy, so we just were not really thinking and just did it like quick.
Yeah, another one too we forgot to put in was Greg Biffle and Harvick at Bristol, but we talked about that later.
Kevin Harvick and Ricky Rudd, where Kevin Harvick went on top of his car.
Yeah, there's so many Harvick ones.
Harvick is just
glad we got these honorable mentions in as well.
But also, Clint was definitely like, where is he? Where the hell is this person? Having to look low, not even looking high. Yes, I have to make fun of his height.
Wow.
I think Jeff is like 2 inches shorter than me. Let me look this up, actually.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon's pretty small. He's like 5'6".
Yeah, he's the same height as me. I cannot be making these jokes.
Hey, Uno reverse card right there for you, buddy.
Let me shut up right now.
All right, number one. Christian really wanted to report this one, so I'll let him go ahead and do it.
Well, number one, of course, 1979 Daytona 500, arguably
Master has just recorded his 186th career, and there's a fight between Kale Yarbrough and Donny Allison. The tempers overflowing. They're angry. They know they have lost. And what a bitter defeat.
A couple of very hard men, very hardly upset. And Bobby Allison is stopped by his brother to help. There's Bobby Allison's car, number 15.
They're leading them away.
Darrell, Kale Yarbrough there.
The greatest NASCAR race of all time and the greatest Daytona 500 of all time. So, this one I've talked about multiple times. I actually did a school project on this race where I know it's kind of off topic, but I did a school project on this race where I had to talk about I had to basically write down every single camera angle that they used in the broadcast, how many times each of the cameras were used, and basically how much time, they mentioned certain drivers and, how much time they had between commercials and broadcasts, which, I enjoy doing. The race went by much faster when I did that. But anyways, yeah, this is definitely the most known and the biggest fight in NASCAR history in regarding, knowledge of the sport and like how much impact it made on the sport of NASCAR. So in 1979 Daytona 500, I'm not going to narrate it. I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the final lap. Basically, you see right here is Kale Yarbrough and Donny Allison were battling for the win. And Kale Yarbrough had won the championship the last 2 seasons in the now Cup Series, but back in his Grand National Series. And they were battling each other. They had actually spun. They got into an incident early in the race. A lot of people don't remember that. They got into a race early in the race. They spun out in turn 2. But on the final lap, they were battling for the win. They were way ahead of Richard Petty and Darrell Waltrip, who were in third and fourth. So they were going down the backstretch. And for what I see, Allison was trying to, block a little bit. Now, this is back when they didn't have a yellow line rule either. So Kale Yarbrough got loose and he came up, hit Donny. They hit each other multiple times. It was like a magnet. They're like magnets. They just couldn't get off each other. They just spinning and crashing out of control, hitting each other. And then they both went up and spun into the wall in turn 3. So they're both basically cost themselves a chance of winning the 500. It would have been Donny Allison's first 500 win, and it would have been Kale Yarbrough's third, if I'm correct. And, so basically, because of that, Richard Petty and Darrell Waltrip, who were in third and fourth, were battling for the win now. They passed them guys, and they made it to the front stretch, and Petty was able to hold off Waltrip for his 6th 500 win. So basically, a lot of people don't know this part of the story, but basically what happened was after the race ended, or whenever some drivers were coming back around. Now, this was also the race that had the most viewers in NASCAR history. So this moment propelled NASCAR to where it is today. Without this race, without what happened, who knows where NASCAR would be? And, this race and the fight definitely made NASCAR, known throughout the U.S. and, even to the world. So basically, Bobby Allison is the brother of Donny. He goes to pick up Donny Allison and take him back to the garage area since Donny's car wouldn't move. And at the same kind of time, Kale Yarbrough must have been disoriented or something, according to Bobby, and he was upset. So he actually went up to Bobby Allison's window and actually hit Bobby Allison in the head with his helmet. And a lot of people don't know this part, but he hit Bobby in the head and busted his lip and his nose. So Bobby Allison was like, yo, what are you doing? I didn't wreck you. Like, why are you hitting me? So Bobby gets out of his car and he starts fighting Kale, and they just started hitting each other. And according to Bobby, he ran my fist into his nose, and it was crazy fighting, the drivers who went out. Donny didn't really get a good swing on Kale, surprisingly, but it was a classic fight, memorable moment, and the rest is history.
Yes, definitely. I didn't know that he hit him in the helmet, or Kale hit Bobby in the helmet. So thank you for that great insight there with that. And when we did a question sticker to figure out what we would put in the top 10, and so many of you guys said 1979 Daytona 500. So yeah, that's why that's number 1. So anyways, now we're gonna close the episode out with the race picks, the duels. Right now, like we said earlier in the episode, the day after the clash, it is Wednesday, and the duels are both on Thursday. So for duel 1, I have Joey Logano. one, bias, and two, because he's notorious to win duels. So everybody else, who's your all's picks?
Well, should we go over who's in each duel?
Let me pause the recording and get the list up.
To the group chat.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
So Gregson didn't qualify then.
Okay, I'm back, guys. So, qualifying. All right, so we're back, guys. So we're gonna just give the list really quick for the starting order of the Daytona 500 unofficial. First up, Alex Bowman is on pole with William Byron starting second. Eric Almirola is third with Bubba Wallace fourth. William Byron fifth. Or not William Byron. Ricky Stenhouse. Excuse me. Kevin Harvick sixth. Christopher Bell 7, Ryan Preece 8, Austin Dillon 9, Daniel Suarez 10, 11 Chase Elliott, 12 Denny Hamlin, 13 David Reagan, 14 Kurt Busch, 15 Kyle Larson, 16 Kyle Busch, 17 Matt DiBenedetto, 18 Ryan Blaney, 19 Austin Cindric, 20 Casgrella, 21st Joey Logano, 22nd Chase Briscoe, 23rd Ryan Newman, 24th, Ross Chastain, 25th, Cole Custer, 26th, Brad Keselowski, 27, Michael McDowell, 28, Martin Truex Jr., 29, Eric Jones, 30, Chris Buescher, 31st, Tyler Reddick, 32nd, Anthony Alfredo, 33rd, Ty Dillon, 34th, Jamie McMurray, 35th, Corey LaJoie, 36, Quinn Houff, 37, Garrett Smithley, 38, BJ McLeod, 39, Timmy Hill, 40, Cody Ware, 41st, Joey Gaze, 42nd, Josh Bilicki, 43rd, Derek Cope with no time, and 44th, Noah Gregson due to failing inspection.
3 times in NASCAR did not allow him to go out on track at all, even though he passed inspection the 4th time.
Yeah, that brings back the vibes of the old days where they would cheat. But anyways, yeah.
So who do you have?
Oh, for duel number 1, man, isn't Kyle Busch in duel number 1 or duel number 2?
Brandon.
He's 16th, so duel 2.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know who's in which duel. I'm trying to figure it out right now, but I mean, I like Mike's pick with Logano because that makes sense, especially since Logano's won duels before. I mean, I'm going to go with Logano as well, to be honest, for duel number 1. And for duel number 2, I'm just going to say Kyle Busch wins that as well. But who knows? I mean, Kevin Harvick has done really good in duels in the past as well, so he could be a contender.
Kevin Harvick is in duel 2.
Yeah, so maybe Harvick could win duel 2. We'll see. Ryan?
Yeah, I also am not sure about who's in what duel. But for duel 1, I'm going to agree with Joey Logano. Just because he's usually good at the duels and he's good. He's good at the super speedways. And for duel number 2, hopefully Harvick has better luck and he can win that.
Okay, just really quickly, I just want to give a quick shout out to Tez Racing. He put up a prediction list, and the lineup for duel 1 is Alex Bowman, Eric Almirola, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, Ryan Preece, Daniel Suarez, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Matt DiBenedetto, Austin Cindric, Joey Logano, Ryan Newman, Cole Custer, 34, Michael McDowell, Eric Jones, Tyler Reddick, Ty Dillon, Jamie McMurray, Quinn Houff, Timmy Hill, Garrett Smithley, and whoever is in the 52 car. Or no, not Garrett Smithley. Cody Ware and 52.
Josh Bilicki.
So, yeah, I'm still going to stick with my pick, Joey Logano.
What about Mike Harmon?
Mike Harmon?
Had to troll a little bit.
Can you send that to the chat, the list?
And then Tyler Reddick is good on
Talladega.
At both. So for duel 1, I will choose. Now, obviously, I have a very Chevrolet based life. I will choose, surprisingly, the 99. He looked like he had a lot of speed today, and it kind of surprised me.
Wow, that's an interesting pick.
Can I change my predictions, my picks?
And then for duel 2, I think Bubba could win duel 2.
Wow.
They both have a lot of speed. So let's see how this rolls.
Man, I mean, that's definitely risky picks, but I mean, go for it, man. It's the duels, I mean, who knows what will happen? I mean, we usually don't see wrecks happen in the duels, so I don't know what the odds are in regards to, the 99 getting up there. I don't think that's very possible. And
with how I roll, man.
And duel 2's lineup is 24, William Byron, Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, David Reagan, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Casgrella, Clint Boyer, Ross Chastain, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., Ricky Stenhouse, or not Ricky Stenhouse, Chris Buescher, not John Hurt, Anthony Alfredo, excuse me, I can't freaking talk tonight. Corey LaJoy, 13 car, I don't know who that is. BJ McLeod, Garrett Smithley, Derek Cope, and Noah Gregson. I'm going to go ahead and choose William Byron because he's also consistent in winning duels. He's very good at restrictor plates, and Chase could probably work with him.
It's not a bad pick at all. Byron has done pretty well on the restrictor plate tracks. And for me, it has to be, as I mentioned earlier, between Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. So, Ryan or Brandon?
Yeah, now that I have the list, I'm going to change my duel predictions. For duel 1, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Larson's going to win. 5.
Oh, boy.
And for duel 2, probably more realistically, I'm saying the 19 of Truex Jr. will win.
Boy.
What was that?
All right, Brandon.
I said my picks already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was reading something. So now, big pick, 500 pick. I'm going to go ahead and choose Ryan Blaney. He's always consistent on restrictor plates, always in the front. The Penske Fords always work well together. Wood Brothers, and now with Austin Cindric. Blaney almost won this race, and had he had one more lap, in my opinion, he would have gotten past Denny Hamlin and he would win his first Daytona 500. So I will for sure be picking Ryan Blaney, and my dark horse pick is going to be Ryan Newman.
Oh, the Ryan and Ryan show. Maybe we get Ryan Williams in there and make it the Ryan and Ryan show.
And hopefully without the devastating crash. The flipping and the hitting in the door.
Yeah.
So basically for me, I guess, I mean, I picked Ryan Blaney to win last year, and he came close. It's unfortunate to see what happened at the end of last year's 500. Definitely but for me, I'm actually going to say William Byron wins the 500. I know it's kind of a risky pick, but I'm going to say William Byron wins
it.
Whoa, he went riskier than me.
Solid pick.
Yeah.
Even Mike agrees. But yeah, Ryan?
I'm also going to go risky. Not because he's my favorite driver, but based off of his performances at other super speedways and Talladega. Matt DiBenedetto.
Dude, that'd be amazing if he won. I'd be so happy,
Yeah.
dude.
Like he was out front at Talladega, so I'm basing it off of that. Hopefully this time Hamlin doesn't spawn out of somewhere and pass him like all the time.
He spawns quicker than me and
It's
mine.
underneath the yellow line again.
Yeah. So yeah, my 500 pick, 21 Matt DiBenedetto.
And hopefully Denny Hamlin doesn't pull a pull what he did last year and just starts wrecking people. But yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
My picks. I have a few because I can't really decide on who I want to win the race. All good at restrictor plate tracks. 2 of them have wins there. Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney. Bowman, sorry about that. And Stenhouse. Actually, 3 of them have wins at plate tracks. I chose all Chevy drivers again. I wanted to go safe with my picks because, well, yeah. But 3 of the 4 of the drivers are winners at plate tracks, which makes me believe that they can do it again. So if they can do it again, but this weekend, that would be great. Maybe Chase can finish 1-2 with Blaney. Make up for last night.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully Denny Hamlin doesn't activate Jackson Storm mode.
And since this episode will be uploaded Saturday, I don't know why we did the dual picks, but whatever. Hopefully we are accurate. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Comment, like, and subscribe. We will see you guys next episode. Peace.
See
ya, guys.
Thanks for watching.